All right, just like our lovely neighbors to the east in Park City, we have a tremendous amount of activity happening on the north side of the county. And not sure if you've heard about some of this here recently, but some of that is a kind of redundancy of what we presented, I think like Sean, 11 months, maybe even less than that ago. But, you know, Valley Center from kind of the, does anybody know what this means? The NIMBY, not my backyard. Has anybody heard that before? Well, that's what Valley Center kind of used to be, to a rising regional rock star. Of course, here's our regional commuting patterns that you're all aware here at WAMPO. Got to always do a quick plug here. Actually, Thursday, between 11 and 5, it will be the grand opening and ribbon cutting for our Builders First Source. We were able to poach them from City of Wichita, so I'm sorry for that, but we were able to have them locate next to their trust plant and facility that was already existing in Valley Center and repurpose an old grocery store that we have in our community and add about 25 new jobs and about a $5 million investment as far as the grounds and everything. So from 11 to 5 on Thursday, you can come up to Valley Center and get fed between 11 and 1. And then the first 500 get a free t-shirt. You know, on the north side, we like to give away free t-shirts like the blood drive. Our recent planning efforts, we did just recently complete a strategic planning process with RDG out of Omaha. Also, too, thanks to WAMPO, we were able to update and have a new pedestrian and bicycle master plan. We do look at exciting times of applying for grants and partnering with WAMPO in the future with getting some funds for those things. Some of the upcoming things that I'll talk about here will be the street improvement projects, infrastructure, residential developments, and quality of place. Like Sean had mentioned, this is our joint project, actually, between KDOT, Sedgwick County, Park City, and ourselves. And so from the roundabout there, now that Sean's all done in Park City, we're moving west into Valley Center. All the way to the flood control project. It does include a realignment of Seneca Street. And so Seneca Street used to be kind of in the county, and I had one of those jog overs on the quarter section line. So we're realigning that for safety purposes and adding a lot of different lanes to that area. That is actually getting started this week. Monday is when that started. So we're also doing a water line project along there as well. So we wouldn't be able to do this without the county support. So really appreciate the commissioners and their support, especially Commissioner Cruz. Also, thanks to WAMPO, we're able to do, or going to be doing our Meridian Street projects. This will be from, this section is Main to 5th Street, complete redo, a lot of it with drainage. We don't have any stormwater drainage in this area. So from Main to 5th Street, we'll do a streetscape, as well as some decorative lighting and some of those fun things. Also on 69th Street, partnering with the county again on doing a potential roundabout on 69th Street and Meridian. This will also go all the way through basically from our south city limits all the way north to the train tracks. So if you're familiar with Valley Center at all. And also this will realign Ford Street and the entrance to Builders First Source. So I just talked about with that project, this will make that a safer entrance for all the truck traffic. I did forget to mention on Ford Street, due to oil prices kind of being a little high, I don't know if anybody's seen that, but we were able to actually turn that into a concrete section. So for about $471,000 more, the mayor and council, thanks to Councilmember Colbert, we were able to actually upgrade and have a concrete road all the way then from the roundabout into the community all the way to Meridian. Will actually be a concrete corridor for us. So hoping for a lot of development off of that. But this section of Meridian will go out for bid here and lighting in May or June of 23. Seneca improvements, and so kind of where that red line ends there on the top, that will be a part of the Ford Street project. And then we were just awarded $1 million for the cost share, thanks to KDOT once again. And so we'll continue Seneca Street from that point then to north to 85th Street or 5th Street, depending upon which one you want to say. This will also include a lot of right turn lanes. We have 3 new subdivisions off of this road alone, as well as thanks to the county once again, we have a TIF district. So about $110 million investment in our TIF district that will also be off of Seneca Street that I'll talk about here shortly. We did apply for the request for open projects. This is actually a new project. We're looking for funding sources still. So of course, we'll be looking at the infrastructure grant and projects. This will be turning Meridian by the intermediate school north into a 4-lane road versus a 2-lane currently. And it includes 2 roundabouts, one by the intermediate school and middle school, and then one by Southwind at the middle school. And then it'll kind of lead out north to 93rd Street. And there's a new development that I'll get to here shortly. That's down there on your bottom of your screen. Infrastructure improvements, we are pushing forward, and we actually have our RFP almost ready to go to solicit for our water plant design. So we will be constructing our own water treatment plant. We have plenty of groundwater rights, and so we plan to capitalize on that and still have, of course, Wichita as a supplemental for our water supply. Infrastructure improvement projects continuing here with our water tower. So there's kind of a, I don't know, it's a kind of a minimal design, I think, you know, kind of quiet. That is currently underway as we speak. When I left, they were putting on some little template designs that they were putting little dots. So they put tiny little pink or tiny little black dots on where they're going to paint first, and they're really microscopic. I mean, you got to know where you're looking at, and then they will paint that design on the water tower. So we're really looking forward to this being kind of one of those eye-catching masterpieces in Valley Center. Brick Mob was the one who actually won the design on this. We had a design contest and had a top 3 for the community to vote on, and the community voted this as the #1 vote getter. So it'll be exciting to see that coming up. And you know, there always will be tricks, and so we got some other tricks up our sleeves when it comes to the water tower itself. So stay tuned. We also are doing a little crazy venture. I'm sure folks that have been around the region for a while, you know, back in the early 2000s, 2004, I think, Wichita had looked at potentially municipalizing their electrical system. And so we are going to actually explore municipalizing our electrical system and purchase the entire distribution system from Evergy. So here's kind of a sample of the utility billing flyer that went out right after the council decided on January 19th to give Evergy the notice that we are going to renew our franchise for a 1-year period. And so we are actually right now in the middle of our feasibility study. The community did hire New Gen Strategies and Solutions to help us in that endeavor. We have a public power committee, so a subcommittee. So if you're ever bored or want to, fall asleep in the middle of the night, go onto our website and our YouTube channel, and you can watch all the committee meetings when it comes to public power. This will be a great benefit to the community, and we're hoping to kind of pave the way for all of our neighboring communities as well, that this is an option when it comes to your power supply and your power options. That there's an easy way in Kansas. Kansas state statute lays it out really nicely, actually, to municipalize your own electrical system. And so we plan to do that. Residential development. This one is Cedar Ridge Estates. It's kind of the higher end, $500,000 to $2 million or $2 million range. 27 lot that just got started this week. Arbor Valley, or this says Hidden Valley. It's actually Arbor Valley now. 64 lots. That one's going out for bid next week. That one's off of Ford Street. This is our TIF district, 282 lots plus commercial and a reserve area. So it includes a 62-acre park. That will be a new regional kind of detention area. I want to thank, of course, again, Central County for partnering along with the city of Wichita and figuring out the drainage situation there when it comes to the ditch on the West Chisholm Trail. Also, too, this will be a wonderful opportunity to connect our regional trail system in this area to our neighboring communities in Park City, Bel Air, and Keachai. I don't know if you saw last week, but we did have a little announcement, something that will be a first, definitely in Kansas, and actually the first in the U.S. when it comes to a multi-family 3D printed subdivision. This will be the first 3D printed housing development in Kansas, and then the first multi-family 3D printed subdivision in the U.S. They're looking at about 156 units on our 4th Street area, and we are moving right along. We met with the folks for the first time on Friday the 13th. I'll never forget that day, right before Chamber Golf outing, and now we will be hopefully having the final plat and all the construction documents on the street by September 6th of this year. Construction will start in November, so that's exciting. Also, too, in between our high school and middle school on Meridian Street, this is part of that concept that I showed you to turn the 4-lane or turn the 2-lane road on Meridian Street into a 4-lane road. And this would then be adjacent to this new development that has about 222 single-family lots, about 40 duplex lots, and then the Reserve A is where we're going to potentially move our recreation aquatic complex and our new potential city buildings. Quality of place, here's what I just mentioned with the Recreation Aquatic Center. This too has its own separate subcommittee. So again, if you're bored, all of our meetings are on YouTube, so you can watch us in full transparency, address questions, and interact with the public. Also too, did want to mention on the quality of place, one of the primary goals in Valley Center is to reduce the monthly bills and the burden that we put on all of our taxpayers. Our residents, they work hard for their money just like all of us do. And we want them to be able to enjoy it. And so that's why we're taking on Evergy. That's why we're building our own water treatment plant. And that's why we're paying off our debt on the sewer plant early. It's to make sure that there's more money in the end of the month in every one of our residents' pockets, so they can spend it in Wichita and Valley Center and Park City and all these wonderful places. So the mayor and council are very active, making sure that quality of life is a key component in any decision that we're making. I'll stay in for any questions.
Well, thank you, Brent. I saw on TV the other day where you were doing the 3D printing of the homes.
We just mow it.
The price of those compare with the price of a stick-built home?
They're still coming up with the figures. It kind of depends upon which printer gets here first. And so the company we're working with actually bought a printer from overseas in Denmark, and that's stuck somewhere on the ocean on a barge. And so they actually found another one in Pennsylvania that will hopefully be here in, I think, August or September. So depending upon which printer they get, actually will adjust that total overall cost. But CC3D will have more information when the time comes for specific questions when it comes to the price per square foot and all those things. But all of the duplexes and those 3D printed, there'll be, of course, patio homes, but then also be carriage homes, 2-story with the garage underneath. And every single unit will be 3-bedroom, 2-bath. There'll be about 1,100 square feet, 1,100 to 1,200 square feet units. So these aren't small structures. They are going to be rentals because the first 5 years or so, they want to hold on to them in case there's any issues structurally or any of those things. So they don't want to, put up a bunch of single-family homes of 3D printed and then have a bunch of issues with the structures themselves. So.
Good. Well, thank you. And once again, you can see from your briefing that without the transportation and getting the roads in that you need, right?
Absolutely.
You'll be having some problems with your economic development, so we appreciate it. Any questions for Brent?
I just want to echo your comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you. And then also this series of presentations is strengthening the collaboration between each of our communities. On strengthening collaboration and WAMPO, I also want to recognize our partners, Federal Highway Administration, Rick Backlund, and KDOT, Mike Moriarty, and from KDOT, Matt Messina. So, our partnership and federal and state partnerships, how WAMPO staff is so love to see all you interacting and in these meetings and take the opportunity to say hello to folks from Topeka as well. So thank you again.
And without the funding, we've received over $11 million in the last few years of funding assistance. And without those, none of this development would be happening. working. So thank you to all the partners involved, and we really could not do it without you. So thank you.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate both Brent and Sean for coming and briefing again today, because I think this is an important discussion so that we know exactly what we're doing that's impacting the community by providing transportation.